Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the show, and thanks for tuning in live here on Facebook. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you are taking in your podcast. Happy to be on with you on iTunes. Leave us a positive review there. Those things help. And the show was rescheduled and canceled and redone. I had a schedule change with a guest this week. And I said, you know what? I want to do a show. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. And I want to make sure I continue the podcast along these lines. So a short show here tonight. It is almost my bedtime here on the East Coast, 9 o'clock, but we got to continue on. We got to survive and thrive. So let's start with our sponsor for the show. I do want to thank IXL. We're going to be talking about teachers today. And certainly if you are a teacher, you know IXL. It is a great way to get a quick assessment with students, math and ELA. Here is a word from IXL. Hey friends, Andrew Murata here, Surviving and Thriving. And I want to thank today's sponsor for the podcast, IXL. Discover the power of data-driven instruction in your school with IXL. It is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It gives you everything you need to maximize learning, from a comprehensive curriculum to meaningful school-wide data. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments, including NWEA, MAPS, STAR, iLearn, just to name a few. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your school towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, I want to thank IXL for sponsoring Education, Leadership, and Beyond. All right. Again, thanks to IXL for their sponsorship. Check it out. If you are a teacher and you are not familiar with it, I highly recommend you do check it out. And their link is in the show notes. Also, coming up here in July, I do have the Dads, Leaders, and Father Figures Summit. I'm going to play this while I'm talking. We would love for you to join us Monday, July 29th, Binghamton, New York. Myself, Larry Dake. This is a leadership summit for dads, leaders, and father figures. And it is an all-day event. It is the first time we are running it. So that information is on my website, andrewmurata.com. And it's also on the Dads, Leaders, and Father Figures website. So those two things are happening. But let's get started with tonight's show. Number one, I want to give a shout out to all of my teachers at Port Jervis School District in New York, our neighbor here from Milford, PA, as well as teachers everywhere. It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and certainly want to shout them out. We're going to talk about them here on the show and the recognition they deserve. So if you are a teacher, jump in the show, leave a comment. If you know a teacher, put your favorite teacher in the comment box there. We certainly want to recognize them today. And we're going to tell a couple stories. We're going to tell a couple impactful teacher stories and things that have helped me on my journey with teachers, as well as some motivational things. So, but the first concept is S.E.E. It's an acronym, S.E.E. Teachers, right? Amazing people in our lives, but the best teachers. Yes, they provide math, social studies, English, learning, reading, right? They provide all those things, but they really provide us with C, significant emotional experiences. Our teachers are with us all of those very, very important developing years of our lives, and through the ups and downs, the triumphs, the different things in our lives. Teachers provide an amazing number of significant emotional experiences for colleagues, but certainly the kids. So think about that. Think about how you can provide C's for other people, significant emotional experiences. I wrote about that in today's blog. And I love it. They're everywhere. When you're looking for those C's of how you can impact other people, You find them, you see them, they're there, no pun intended. So look for those on your journey. And I'm going to tell a couple here on the stories about hats. But those significant emotional experiences, and think back to your own childhood. Think back to your time in school. Who was that teacher that made you feel special? Who was that teacher that made you believe in yourself? Who was that coach that empowered you and kind of raised you along the way? Those are significant emotional experiences that we remember even when we're old. Thinking back to those times, and it goes to the Maya Angelou quote. They'll forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So let's make those kids, let's make other educators feel great, not only here on Teacher Appreciation Week, but all the time. Schools, we need that. We need that inspiration. Provide those C for people, significant emotional experiences. All right, I'm going to tell a couple stories. These are from the book HATS, Heartfelt Acts for Teachers, Students, and Staff, my collaborative project with Jay Billy and Brian McCann. Check it out. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible. It's out there. And it's a great book for educators. So the first story is about my friend Austin Wilson. He is from Port Jervis. He wrote that excerpt, and it's called Fill the Room. Austin's in his third year, I think, with us in Port, fourth year overall teaching. Went to Port Jervis, great young man, and he provides a ton of significant emotional experiences for other people. And here's one of the things he does. It might sound simple. You might say, well, that's not so great. But I'm telling you, as somebody who's watched it and watched the people receive it, it is fantastic, and it has a deep impact. He took calligraphy courses. He learned how to do that fancy calligraphy. And on every staff member's birthday, he goes to their classroom. If school starts at 7:20 in the morning, Austin's in there at 6:45, 6:50, and he tapes it up. Beautiful sign written in hand, made calligraphy. And it says, happy birthday to the person. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. He does that for each teacher in the building. And the teacher keeps them up. They're there. He sees them. It's really such a beautiful thing. Ruby is here. My daughter's having a friend sleep over tonight, so you can hear Ruby. But it's just a beautiful thing there that he does. So the icing on the cake, what happened when it was Austin Wilson's birthday, so many people made him signs and hung those on his door and wanted to do those significant emotional experiences for him. And that was just so nice to see that he was able to receive that from other people. So it's a story called Fill the Room. Shout out to Austin Wilson, teacher again in Port Jervis schools. The number two story is called, Let Them Know You Care. And this is about a time where I failed in a significant emotional experience. I like to celebrate the great things that people are doing, and then certainly I've achieved, and I want to share those, right? Well, here's a time where I failed, and but it taught me the importance of making sure my relationships with teachers and things that I was doing. So this is a former teacher in Port. She's gone on to an administrative job. She's a good friend. And this was a time where we had a fight in school. It was a very physical altercation between two students. And there's always those hero staff members, those hero teachers that jump in, right? We don't want anybody to get hurt. And those teachers go in there and they break those things up. Again, just another unwritten thing that teachers do. So this was a pretty bad altercation. And this young lady, this teacher, got knocked to the ground. And I was in there trying to break up the kids, and I got the kids out of there. And I saw the teacher. I'm like, hey, you okay? She's like, yeah. And I got the kids out of there. And then that was hours of the rest of my day, right? I'm on the phone with parents. One of the kids had to go to the hospital. They're getting in trouble. I'm reviewing the video camera, all of those kinds of things. And I watched the video camera, and again, I saw that teacher fall. And I was like, oh, I need to make sure she's okay. And I got caught up in the day, and I got caught up in the suspending of the kids and the parents and just the hecticness of it. And the day came and went, that afternoon came and went, that evening came and went. And the next day, someone came to me and said, "Hey, how is so-and-so, the teacher?" And I never went and checked on her. I, the leader of the building, Mr. Principal, right, did not go check on my staff member. And I was like, oh my God. I ran right down there. And, she had a great attitude. She got to look at her watch and said, well, it's about time. And we had a good laugh. But we also had a serious conversation because I felt terrible that I didn't go check on some of the most important people in schools, right? Our teachers. I didn't go check on her. Are you okay? That was a significant emotional experience. That was a significant physical experience for that teacher. I should have been there right away. Are you okay? Can I get you anything? I should have brought her a water. I should have canceled her next period class. What can I do for you? Do you need medical attention? All of those things. And I failed in that moment. And her and I had a great conversation. She reminded me of how important it is to do those things. And again, priorities, right? When an emergency happens, when something happens, as an educator, as a school leader, you're trying to do all these things and you got to do it in the right order. Well, I failed to check on the adult in the building, and that was a wake-up call. That was a big reminder to me to make sure I take care of my people. Yes, I had to take care of the kids. Yes, I had to communicate with the parents, but that's no excuse of why I did not check on my staff. So she was great, and she's gone on to become an administrator, and we both learned from that experience. So that story was called Make Sure You Check on Your People. And again, we learned from our failures. I failed in that moment, and the teacher, Heather, was very gracious and forgiving of me. So when those things happen, we got to make sure we take care of our people. Again, if you're watching the show live, jump in, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you are an educator, certainly want to celebrate you and our teachers here tonight, as well as all of this week, wherever you are, whether you're here in Port Jervis or Delaware Valley School District, where my children go, or around the country. So, last story, and I think this fits the job description of educators today. In one of my books, Tales from the Hardwood, where is it? Over here, Tales from the Hardwood, the last chapter was written by J.D. Collins. J.D. Collins was the national coordinator of officials, the person who assigns the referees to March Madness, if you're not a basketball fan. J.D. was a mentor. J.D. was a good friend, and J.D. participated in the book. And I asked him to describe his role as national coordinator, as supervisor, and as, a former official himself. And it was great. And JD wrote that there was 3 really main parts of his job. And I think it, again, fits with educators today. Absorb chaos, create calm, and provide hope. Absorb chaos, create calm, and provide hope. And if you work in schools, you know that that's what the shining stars are doing. That's what teachers, that's what the bus drivers, that's what clerical are, all those people, the administrators are doing in schools. We are fighting hard to make sure education is something that's great for kids. It's a great profession that people want to go to, not run away from. And for all those teachers out there that do those things, absorb chaos, create calm, and provide hope. And hope is an acronym, another acronym here on today's show. Hold on, possibilities exist. So I thank you for absorbing the chaos. I thank you for creating that calm and certainly providing hope for our future. Whether it was COVID a couple years ago, whether it's budget cuts, our internet got knocked out the other day at school. We had testing, we had all kinds of cancellations of things. We absorb it, we get everyone calm, and we keep moving forward. So kudos to all the educators out there here on Teacher Appreciation Week. We appreciate you tuning in on a late night here. Again, the show was not scheduled. We had a schedule change, but I wanted to make sure I was with you this week, continuing the programming for education, leadership, and beyond. Leave us a positive comment in the chat, And it is a Thursday night here. I do wish you a happy Friday. And I wish everybody a happy Mother's Day weekend. It's Mother's Day. Shout out to my mom, Dorothy Murata, 83 years young, as well as Patricia Grimes, my mother-in-law. Great women, great people. My wife, mother of my children, our children, Jen Murata, Jen Grimes. So certainly a shout out. If your mom is living, God bless you, and enjoy the weekend with her. And if you are a mom yourself, God bless you. We appreciate you. You're amazing people. Women rule the world. So thank you, ladies. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Happy Mother's Day. It was Nurses Day on Wednesday, too. Appreciate your school nurses. So thanks for tuning in. Before we go, one last shout out. I do want to thank IXL for sponsoring the show. And again, if you weren't with us in the beginning, I am running this event with Dr. Larry Dake for dads, Monday, July 29th, Binghamton, New York. The registration's on my website, andrewmurata.com, as well as the Dads, Leaders, and Father Figures website. So you can check that out. If you have more information, certainly get in touch with me. Thanks for tuning in, friends. Keep surviving and thriving. Keep telling stories. Keep bringing those significant emotional experiences to your place of work, to your school, and to your family. Keep surviving and thriving, friends. Thanks for tuning in. No, wrong one. Sorry. Here we are. All right. See you, friends.